Hi. Just gonna wait a few more seconds. Okay, hi. My name is Rahela Nayebzadah. Thank you for joining me today. Today I'll be cooking bolanee. It's my favorite recipe, and I shared the recipe for you earlier. The music in the background is my favorite Afghan musician. His name is Darya, and I'm just playing his music so that it drowns out the noise of Paw Patrol. My kids are watching Paw Patrol, and if they're not watching TV, they won't let me do this. I'm hoping I could show you how to make this. If my kids, are calm and quiet, I'll do my best. I want to begin by saying thank you so much to Amanda Hopkins. Thank you to Katrina, Sarah. Thank you to everyone at Writer's Stress. This means a lot to me. Thank you so much. So I will start. I'll just give you a quick view as to what I have on this plate that I'll be chopping up. There's some garlic. I have chives, green onions, leeks, a tomato, a white onion, and a jalapeno pepper. Although the pepper wasn't mentioned in the recipe, I'm going to include it anyway because I just love spicy food. So I'm just going to start chopping some things up. Okay. So first we'll start with the green onions. And I already have the frying pan warming up right now, and the potatoes have already been boiled. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me. Say hi. This is my first time doing anything like this. It's pretty exciting. Bolanee is really delicious. Like, I love bolanee. It tastes better right now I'm using a tortilla wrap for this recipe, but it tastes better if you use actual dough. Unfortunately, I've been celiac for almost 9 years, and I haven't figured out how to make the best dough gluten-free. And my youngest son, has life-threatening allergies to eggs and nuts. So it's really hard to make dough if you're not adding eggs. And the egg replacer just doesn't taste very good. But making it with tortilla is still good, and it's a lot easier as well. And I'm going to be chopping up a lot of green onions and leeks and everything, just because this may not sound very appealing to many, but I like it oniony. And I'm also making a large batch so that we can also have this for dinner. And now I'm working on the leeks. I don't think I'm going to add a lot of leeks to this recipe, just because leeks, I like leeks, but I just don't like so much in the bolanee. Speaking of leeks, there's this really delicious Afghan recipe that my mom makes. It's called Afshar. And I haven't had it in 9 years because I haven't found gluten-free wonton wraps yet. But it's like a wonton stuffed dumpling, and on top you serve it with yogurt and meat sauce. So I'm just gonna see how much leeks I want in this. My eyes are starting to water with all these onions. Bolanee is really delicious. I remember when I was younger and no one really knew a lot about Afghan cooking, I describe it to my friends as almost a quesadilla, but with stuffed potatoes. And I believe in India they have a similar dish. It's called aloo paratha. which is so delicious. So right now, now I'm chopping up the chives. I love chives. They're so delicious, especially in bolanee. Before I sent out the recipe, I got my mom to approve it, because I don't think she would have been very happy if I didn't get her approval on it. The one thing my mom did say is that I should have added fresh dill to the yogurt sauce, which I will also show you how to make, and some cucumber, but that's okay. It's still going to taste delicious, I promise. So now I'm going to work on the garlic, and I have to make sure that I save some for the yogurt mix too. The sauce for this bolanee, it's really good. Some people like it with chutney. I prefer it with yogurt. Even plain yogurt will be just fine. And some people like to take chutney and yogurt and mix it together. I hope you can hear that music. I love it. Yeah, in Monster Child, there's a lot of references to food. Food is really important to my culture. I remember growing up when I had friends come over, my mom would just bring so much food on a big platter, and she'd serve it to my friends, and they'd always be like, "Oh no, thank you." And then I'd tell them, if you don't eat, you're gonna offend my mom. Like, when you go to an Afghan person's house, you have to eat. You have to. And sometimes you'll eat too much. But food is very important. And in my novel, Maudad, she just cooks a lot, and she loves cooking. That's how she tries to connect with Shabnam, her daughter. So it's great. And for me, it was always important that I include those cultural references, because I didn't want someone reading it and being like, you know what, this sounds like a white family. I didn't want anyone to think that. So it was important that I include those cultural references. And there's a lot of references to food. So what I did is I put some aside for the yogurt. And once again, I don't know, maybe it's like the Afghan in me, but I like garlicky stuff. I know a lot of people don't, but I do. Now I'm going to start with the onions. I know in the recipe I said like 1 whole onion, but because there's a lot of leeks and green onions and chives in here, I don't think it's needed. But honestly, it's like a preference. I love onions, even if it's raw. Like, I don't care if it gives you bad breath. I just love onions. Okay, and as you can see, my chopping technique isn't very good. Hopefully I won't cut a finger. Okay. Oh. You want the onions nice and small. And I'm cooking this tonight for me and my husband. My kids will not eat this. They're so picky. They will not even look at it. To be honest, I'm not a very good cook, but I know how to make bolanee. I wish I knew how to cook more Afghan dishes, but I'm just recently getting better at dal. I just learned how to make rice. It's not Afghan rice, but it's kind of close. Yeah. I remember writing about all the references to food in Monster Child. Like, I was constantly on the phone with my mom, making sure that I didn't miss anything. My eyes are watering right now, all this onions. Okay. And I really hope you do make this one day. It's so delicious. And if you can make the dough, it's even better. This is supposed to be kind of like a greasy dish. I don't recommend baking it. This doesn't taste that good. All right. Okay. I'm going to add a whole jalapeno. My husband is probably going to get mad, but you know what? That's what the yogurt sauce is for. So you could just add more yogurt. Okay, now I'm going to chop up the jalapeno. I'm just going to actually make this a little bit, chop this up a little bit more. Some people put a tomato paste in this, but I think it's better to use like an actual tomato. Yeah. I'll just take the seeds out. I'll be nice. I don't want to burn my husband, so he's not Afghan, so he's not used to spicy food like we are. And since my kids aren't eating this, I don't need to worry about the spiciness. I have to remember to wash my hands. Okay, I can smell this. This is getting pretty spicy. It's just perfect. I love it. I hope all this chopping noise isn't loud. That noise is my son playing. And believe it or not, but it's actually very quiet right now. Okay, cut this a little finer. Okay, good. That's all ready. I'm going to add the tomato. Just going to go ahead and cut up all this tomato. Okay, I'll be right back. I'm just going to wash my hands because the jalapeno is starting to burn my fingers. I'll be right back. All right. And another thing that I should probably mention is that I've made bolanee with sweet potato and yams. It doesn't taste that good. I think just sticking with white potatoes is the best. This seems to have warmed up a bit. It would be good to just cook the onions and the peppers first. It doesn't really matter. Add the rest later. see what's going on. Just gonna turn it up a bit. And don't be afraid to add lots of oil to this. This dish requires oil. A lot of Afghan cooking is greasy, but it's delicious. Let that cook a bit, turn it up a little bit more. Smells really good. I know my eyes aren't happy, but it smells good. Okay, now I'm gonna add the rest. Okay. Can you tell us what the seasoning you book with it? Bolanee is more like in the menu for like Padar, like the family. They have a family restaurant called the Afghan Nomad, and there's a lot of dishes from Afghanistan. There isn't a particular scene that I focus passage on Bolanee, but I believe the only thing I do speak a lot about is kalapocha. So chapter 1 opens up with Madar cooking kalapocha. It's a head and hoof stew. Yeah, it smells delicious, you guys. And the color is just so beautiful. So,
Mommy,
yes?
what color is this so beautiful?
The color of the bolanee. That's my son, Malik. He's 5. He's in kindergarten. So while this cooks, I'm going to start the yogurt sauce. Okay, I'm using my phone. I'm using a measuring cup. Hold this phone. Okay. So I have some yogurt here. Just plain white yogurt. I'm just gonna add some yogurt in here. And this is so interesting. This yogurt says halal, and I don't know why.